Well, ladies and gentlemen. All right, thank you, Scott, so much for that wonderful introduction. It is great to be here, and I have to admit, the last few years have been an absolute whirlwind for me. Thanks to Toastmasters, I've had the opportunity to speak at some pretty cool spots. So a few years ago, I flew out across the pond and spoke in historic Dublin, Ireland, at Viking Voices Toastmasters. Then, of course, as Scott mentioned, in 2015, I went out to Sin City, Las Vegas, Nevada, the entertainment capital of the world, and spoke in the 2015 World Championship of Public Speaking. But now I'm here in my home, away from home. Went to college just down the road in Rensselaer, St. Joseph's College, and I have family that lives in Fort Wayne. So, this is the cherry on the sundae. District 11, are you ready to grow together? Come on! I absolutely love this name for the TLI, and I'm super excited to be here. And speaking of exciting, let me take you back to August 13th, 2015. I had just been named winner of semifinal number 6 to qualify for the World Championship of Public Speaking. I had outlasted 35,000 contestants from 14,625 clubs spanning across 146 countries to put myself in that final 10. I'll never forget it. They handed me my first place semifinal trophy, and I was whisked away by security through hundreds and hundreds of screaming Toastmasters. They brought me into the depths of the Caesars Palace Hotel, into the public relations room, where I was about to give, for my first time ever, a live interview and photo shoot. And I knew that my life would never be the same. I turned to my beautiful wife and said, "In your wildest dreams, do you ever think I'd make it to the big stage?" She looked at me and she said, "Honey, what makes you think you're my wildest dreams?" Now you know why I carry around a card that says, "Yes, you can." No, it is great to be here. That is my message for you this morning. That anybody you want to become, or anything that you want to do in your life, I'm here to tell you, yes, you can. But it's not important what I believe. What's important is what you believe. So we're going to go on a journey together over the next 45 to 50 minutes here, a journey that's going to lead to positive change. And by the way, before we go on that journey, I do want to mention something that Scott had talked about. We are guilty, Scott. That image will forever live in infamy. That is Scott and I speaking just a few short weeks ago in Chicago at the Ignite speech. So thank you so much, Scott, for saying something and for having me here. But as I mentioned, we are going to go on a journey of positive change. But with any journey, we need to have a starting point. So this is going to be a little bit interactive for you. I want to make sure that you stay awake for me here. So if you can grab a pen and a paper, I'm going to have you write down 3 things for me. Number 1, a goal that you want to achieve or a change that you'd like to make in your life in the next 12 months. It could be inside of Toastmasters. Want to be a better leader, communicator, get your DTM. Or better yet, outside of Toastmasters. Because it's important that we need to remember something. What we do here in Toastmasters is amazing and it's great. But this is just the training ground. Toastmasters is a gateway to bigger and better things outside of this organization. So if you can write something down that you want to achieve outside of Toastmasters, that would be fantastic. It could be getting a job promotion, simply having a better attitude, or a stronger family unit, whatever it may be. And I do want to let you know, we will not be sharing these. This is for your own personal growth. So I want you to be as honest with yourself as possible. Number 2. Jot down a significant failure or disappointment that you have had in your life. The bigger, the better. And finally, what makes you happy? What gives you joy? What makes you smile? on the inside. I'm gonna give you a quick minute to think about that. While we do that, listen to little Michael Jackson. Like a little Michael Jackson on a Saturday morning, right? There we go. So it was 2 weeks after I came back from the convention in 2015. I'm sitting in my basement with a long-term friend of mine named Kenny Klatsky. We're watching some football. It got to be halftime, he turns to me and he says, "Eric, do you mind if we watch your speech from the finals?" I said, "Kenny, I never thought you'd ask." We popped in the DVD. 7 minutes and 21 seconds later, he turns to me and he says, "Not bad. I could never do that." It was at that moment that the words of motivational speaker Zig Ziglar popped in my head, and I thought, Kenny, you need a checkup from the neck up. But you know what? We all do from time to time. So if you would, turn to your neighbor and say, "Yes, you can." Turn to your other neighbor and say, "Yes, you can." Thank you. Looks like the coffee's kicked in already. Because you see, we're born for greatness, but we're conditioned for failure. And that quote resonated with me, so I decided to do a little research on it, and I was shocked at what I found. Ran across a study by Reuters claiming that for every positive news story that we hear, we're subjected to 17 negative stories. 17! I couldn't believe it. So I went to yahoo.com. I went to CNN.com. And you know what? It's true. The only positive news story I could find was that the Kardashians may be off the air by the end of 2019. Oh yeah, I can hear you. Everything else was negative. Ran across another study claiming that by the time we hit the tender age of 5, we are told no or no you cannot over 40,000 times. It's no wonder that 1 in 10 Americans are on antidepressants. That's why I love the theme of this TLI, Scott. Let's grow together. Do you think we need to grow together, District 11? Oh yeah. Absolutely. I have 2 more questions for you. One easy, one not so easy. First, the easy question. Raise your hand if you've ever been told no or no you cannot do something before. No. Look around, it's everybody in the room. Now here's a difficult question. Think to yourself, did you believe it? No. Because most, if not all, high achievers choose to listen to their inner voice that says, yes, you can. Now, you may have seen these before, but they're worth repeating. Oprah Winfrey was told, you're not fit for television. Walt Disney was told, you lack imagination. J.K. Rowling, author of the Harry Potter series was told, go get a day job. You will never make any money writing children's books. All three made the billionaires list. Here's my question. Whose voice are you listening to? Steve Jobs, founder of Apple Computers, says it best when he states, don't let the noise of other people's opinion drown out your inner voice. The inner voice that is telling you, yes, you can. So here's the question. How? How do we make that inner voice inside of us scream loud and proud, yes, you can? The only way is through empowerment. The only way to achieve sustainable and long-lasting success is to empower ourselves from the inside. So in the spirit of growing together, I'm going to share with you my 3 P's to empowerment. It's a great time to start taking notes if you haven't already. Step number 1, progress is a process. Second step, the power of perception. Step number 3, positivity. Now it is a Saturday morning, long week for a lot of us. What I like to do in my presentation is to make sure we're in the best state to receive information. So if you would, we're going to do a quick breathing exercise. If you would sit back straight on the edge of your seats for me, that would be fantastic. So edge of your seats, back straight. We're going to take a deep breath in for a 2 count. Deep breath in. Hold for a 2 count. Deep breath out. Doesn't that feel good? Deep breath in. Hold for a 2 count. Deep breath out. All right. So you guys ready to receive?
Yeah.
All right, good stuff. Here we go. Progress is a process. Anyone here know who Sean Foley is? Anybody? Sean Foley? No golf fans in here? Sean Foley was Tiger Woods' swing coach for 4 years. And in 2013, working together, Tiger Woods won 5 times on the PGA Tour and was named PGA Player of the Year. So the Golf Channel decided to do an interview with Sean Foley to talk about Tiger Woods' process. And the first thing that Sean Foley said was this, that no matter whether you're trying to lower your golf score or simply be more successful in life, the key is to commit to a long-term process. Because he said, everybody wants the result, but most people don't want to commit to that process. And then he went on to describe Tiger Woods' process, which is waking up every morning at 4:30 a.m. and spending the first 2 hours of every day on the driving range. And then Tiger will come back in and have the same breakfast every morning. Then he'll go back out, play 3 to 4 rounds of golf. Come back in, have the same lunch every day. Then he'll do cardio, weight training. Go back out, work on a sand game, chipping, putting, and driving. Come back in, have the same dinner every night. Then I'll go out, spend another 1 to 2 hours on the driving range. Come back in, do visualization techniques, and watch film. Then I'll go to bed, and I'll start that process day after day after day. That is why Tiger Woods is a 15-time major champion, and just a few short months ago, had one of the greatest comebacks in the history of sports. Now, Scott mentioned in my bio, I'm in the financial services industry. And people come to me all the time and they say, Eric, I want to retire with a great lifestyle. I say, perfect. Step number 1 is you have a goal. Here's step number 2. Are you willing to commit to a long-term process? And I'll explain to them, in the average lifespan, which is about 80 years, I'll say, you're going to have to suffer through 9,000 down days. 9,000 days where you will lose money. You're going to have to get through 13 recessions. You're going to have to handle 20 bear markets and countless number of market corrections to obtain the lifestyle that you seek. Most people jump ship. Most people are not willing to commit to a long-term process, and that is why we have a retirement epidemic in this country. And we are seeing people working in their 70s, 80s, and yes, sometimes even their 90s, whether they want to or not. Here's the good news. As I look out here this morning, I see a lot of people committed to a long-term process. I see a lot of leaders and communicators here in District 11 who are committed to growing and developing themselves as a better leader and a communicator, and for that, you should be acknowledged. Please give yourself a big round of applause. Please. So when I came back from Vegas in 2015 from the International Convention, the number one question I received was this: Eric, how'd you do it? How were you finally able to break through and make it to the finals of the World Championship? My answer is very simple. 14 years ago, I committed to a long-term process. In the spirit of growing together, I'd like to share that process with you right now. First thing I did was I knew that if I wanted to go up, I needed to show up. So I've been in Toastmasters over 14 years. I'm part of 3 clubs. I can count on one hand how many club meetings I have missed. 3, due to the birth of my children. And I fought my wife over having to miss those. See, I love what the actor Woody Allen says when he says that 80% of success is simply showing up. Which is further evidenced by the late great motivational speaker Jim Rohn, who states that you're the average of the 5 people that you hang out with the most. So in my mind, I thought, well, okay. If I show up to Toastmasters on a regular basis and apply myself, then just maybe I might become a better leader and a communicator too. And that's what happened. But it's very important that we understand that it's more than just showing up. Because we read the mission of the District 11, the district mission statement here this morning. But let's take a look at the mission statement of our clubs, which is to grow in a conducive and mutually supportive learning environment. So I want to focus on that word environment here just for a minute. And we cannot underestimate the power that a positive environment has in each of our growth in our professional and our personal career. So I'm going to share with you 2 examples that shows the power of environment and how it helps us grow. A study was done not too long ago in which researchers wanted to predict people's ability to endure pain. Now, anyone here want to participate in that study? No thanks, right? So what they did was they found participants and they had them take off their socks and shoes and stand in freezing ice cold buckets of water. And they noticed that there was one factor and one factor alone that allowed certain individuals to withstand twice as much pain as others. Now, anybody want to guess what that was? Go ahead and just yell it out. Anybody want to guess?
Attitude.
I'm sorry.
Attitude.
Okay, all right, attitude. All right, a couple more responses.
Courage.
I hear courage. Let's get one more response. Attitude, courage, very good, but no, yeah. Willpower. Okay. Great guesses, but all wrong. No, okay. No, very close. Very close. We have one more. What was that? Positive environment. Yeah, hey, I like where you're going with that.
Endurance.
Endurance, yes. The answer is this. They had someone standing right next to them, offering them words of encouragement. Saying, you can do it. Get this. They gave him 3 words. Yes, you can. If you want to be twice as successful, both inside and outside of Toastmasters, do not underestimate the power of a positive learning environment. Let's grow together. I want to share with you another example. Let's turn to nature. Anybody want to guess what the most popular fish is in an aquarium? Okay, go ahead and yell it out. All right, I got goldfish and what else? Clownfish. I just watched Finding Dory last night. It was not in my hotel room. fish. There we go. No. All wrong. But good guesses. It's the shark. Why? Because the shark adapts to its environment. You can take a baby shark, confine it in an aquarium, and it will grow in proportion to the size of that aquarium. So you can take a fully mature shark, it's still only 6 inches long. Now get this. You take that same shark, release it into the open ocean, it will then grow to reach its full potential. District 11, Toastmasters, is the open ocean. That will allow each one of us to reach our full potential. Let's grow together. Next, second part of my process really made a big difference for me is I kept dreaming. So who here has kids? Show of hands. Okay. Who here was a kid? Okay, all right, so we got everybody in the room. All right, good. So I have 3 of my own, ages 11, 8, and 5. And what's interesting is kids have a great ability to dream, to believe in a better tomorrow. Just the other day, my son, my 8-year-old, came to me and said, "Dad, my dream when I grow up is to be a storm chaser." I said, well, it wouldn't be my first choice, but who am I to say no, right? But they're great dreamers. But what we find is, us big kids, is we go through failures in life, whether it be relationships, business ventures, you name it. A lot of times that fire, that passion that we once had, can diminish or extinguish altogether. So I came to Toastmasters at a time in my life where I'd been beaten up, chewed up, and spit out. Toastmasters allowed me to dream again. I'll share part of my dream a little later on in the presentation, but for right now, it was 2 years after I joined Toastmasters. And this is why what we do here is so critical and so important to our success outside of this organization. I was interviewing for a director of sales position, and the second question that was asked to me was, "Eric, can you give sales presentations in front of large audiences?" Now I explained to the woman who was interviewing me, I had an affiliation with Toastmasters. She stopped the interview. She looked me dead straight in the eye and she said, "Eric, you are the first candidate up to this point who has had any type of background in public speaking." 2 interviews later, I received a job offer. I took that offer letter to my existing employer and said, "Here's my 2 weeks' notice." They asked if they could counter. I said, "Thank you." So they asked if they could counter. I said, "Let me see what you can do." And they did counter with a $25,000 per year raise in part ownership in the company. I took that deal. But it raises a very serious question. How was I able to command an offer of that magnitude? Now I know some of you are probably thinking, "Well, Eric, it's because you're a natural and you're good looking." It's not that hard. Trust me when I tell you, I'm definitely not a natural. Okay, some of you get that when we home. The only reason I got an offer like that is because this Toastmasters program challenged me to be a better leader and a better communicator. So this morning, I'm going to challenge you. Whatever you are thinking right now, think bigger. I'm going to challenge your dream right now. Because you are more than you think you are. I like to ask questions, as you know, because it gets your mind thinking and puts my speech in your world. Here's the next question for you. How are you going to make the next 10 years of your life the best 10 years of your life? I got one idea. Let's grow together in Toastmasters. How's that sound? So as was mentioned before, and I like all the new ideas that have already been generated and some of the new things you're trying here in District 11. The evaluation sheet, that's a great idea, I love that. But as was mentioned right here, in order to grow, we need to take risks. And part of taking risks is failing. So I love what the late, great motivational speaker, or I should say, Jim Rohn, but also evidenced by what John C. Maxwell says, that we don't go through life, we grow through life. So to give you an idea of what I mean by growing and being uncomfortable and failing a little bit, if you would grab another pen once more. Very simple exercise, very simple. Everyone grab a pen. Go ahead and write your name in cursive as you normally would, like you've done over 1,000 times. If you could write the name in cursive, that'd be fantastic. Now go ahead, put your pen in the opposite hand, and go ahead and write your name again. How's that feel for everybody? Welcome to failure. Welcome to being uncomfortable. But that is the state that we need to operate in on a regular basis. How do I know? Because that has been my career in Toastmasters, a series of failures. See, I stand before you as a 2-time finalist in the World Championship of Public Speaking. But as some of you know, I did not start out that way. I was introduced to Toastmasters back in 2004. And I was attending a local Chamber of Commerce meeting. The second thing they had us do in the meeting was they had us all stand up and talk about the product or service they represented. And afterward, a woman came up to me and she said, "Eric, have you ever heard of Toastmasters?" No, I had heard of it, but I didn't give it much thought. She said, "It really puts the icing on the cake when it comes to public speaking." Now, I'm going to share with you, that's her nice way of saying to me, you need help. And I did. See, I failed my way through Toastmasters. It took me 11 and a half years, 3 clubs, 6 trips to the district finals, 51 contests. I'll repeat, 51 contests, and not having to compete here in District 11, for me to get one district title. But here's the catch. My process wasn't over. Because 2 weeks after I won district, I got an email from the 2001 World Champion of Public Speaking, Darren LaCroix. Now there's Darren and I right there. He actually spoke at RTLI just last week in Chicago. Great guy. So he emails me and he says, "Eric, congratulations, my friend, but I got news for you. Your work is just now getting started." And I needed to recommit myself to the process. So that's exactly what I did. So for those 3.5 months from the District 30 Spring Conference to the International Convention, and I did this both years in 2015 and 2018. But for that summer, I recommitted myself. And I worked on those 2 speeches that I brought to the International Convention day and night. And I practiced and rehearsed those speeches throughout many different clubs in District 30, District 54, District 103, you name it. I'd come out here if I had time, right? And I went out and I got a body language coach, a speech coach, a vocal coach, a thinking coach, a humor coach. And fortunately, I have a very understanding wife. But after all that work, with no guarantee of success, my process finally paid off. I'm here to tell you, yours will too. So because I stayed committed to a long-term process, I finally had my big moment in Las Vegas, where I made the world stage in that final 10, So let's take a look at my big moment right now, where I get announced as winner of semifinal number 6 to qualify for the world stage. Yes. Get the sound turned on. Close your eyes, close your eyes. Just hit sound. Oh, there we go. Who's got the clicker messing with the sound up here, huh? All right.
I'll give you 40 guesses who won this.
You want to watch it again? Come on, you want to watch it again? All right, so it's interesting, that loud, piercing scream that you heard, we think is our district director at the time. We can't verify whose voice that was, but that was a great moment for me. It was great to share it with a lot of people in my district. So I showed that video to share this. Stay committed to your long-term process, and you too can have your big moments. How are we doing on time, by the way? Okay, we doing all right? All right. The 1999 world champion of public speaking, Craig Valentine, he says that wisdom comes from reflection. So that's why I had you reflect a little bit early on in the presentation. We're going to do a little bit more reflection. I'll come back down here. What I'd like you to do is go back to that goal or change I wanted you to write down, the change that you wanted to make over the next 12 months. What I'd like you to do is think about, what can you commit to? What process can you implement over the next 12 months that will move you closer to that goal or to that change? I'll give you a quick minute to think about that. Time, feel free to think about that at one of the breaks. You guys doing okay so far? You ready for the next P? You guys still with me? All right. Second P, the power of perception. This is one of my favorite all-time images. Take a real good look at it. A little more audience participation here. What is it that you see? What is it that you see?
A bird bath.
I love it, love it. Bird bath, I get that all the time. Yes? Two faces. Okay, so bird bath, 2 faces. Come on. What else?
Square.
Okay, square. Got one more? Yeah, all the way in the back. Hi, how are you?
Chess piece.
Okay, yes, chess piece. All right. Great answers. The speech contestants that I work with, they see a first place trophy. But a little bit of stress, but again, who am I to say no? right? The point is this: one image, multiple realities. Steve Siebold, who is a Toastmaster, a long-term Toastmaster, and who makes over $1 million a year in speaking fees. Once again, it's not what we do in Toastmasters, it's what we do outside Toastmasters that really matters. I love what he says when he states that we create our own reality based on how we choose to see the world. So this morning I'm going to ask you to make a change. I'm going to ask you to choose to change the way that you look at failure. Because most people fear failure. I'm going to ask you to look at it as a gift, as your friend. Because my personal opinion is this, and I speak from experience, that if you fail enough times, success will take care of itself. That every breakdown is a setup for a breakthrough. Give you a couple examples of what I mean. Think back to a relationship in your life, or relationships that you have had that have failed. I can see a lot of smirks on your faces. You know, they say if you want great speech material, go back to the painful moments in your life, right? You'll get a lot of great speech material. But in that situation, failure was your friend. Imagine if you're still with that person. We'd all be on antidepressants. We go through a relationship that doesn't work out, we fail, what do? We learn from that relationship, and we take those lessons to help us build better, stronger relationships. Love this example. According to NASA, a rocket ship on the way to the moon is off course 90% of the time. It literally fails its way to success. It simply does a series of auto-corrections to reach its destination. So I want to propose something to you. This is not a statement, this is just my personal belief, and is merely a suggestion. Feel free, if you don't want to accept it, feel free, but this is my belief. That if you are not where you want to be in your life, it could be one of two things. Number one, you simply have not failed enough. Or you have not completed your auto-correction process. Just something to consider as you continue to work through your process. So people that know me know that I'm a numbers guy, and I love sports. I'm a sports junkie. So I have to give a couple of sports examples. All right, Kobe Bryant retired back in 2016. He retired as a 5-time NBA champion and an 18-time NBA All-Star. And he finished his career number 3 all-time in total number of points scored. Amazing feat. But here's what most people don't know. Kobe Bryant is also number 1 all-time in total number of shots missed. Yet another example of someone who failed his way to success. Now, Scott, I'm taking a chance on this next one. All right? You guys ready for this next example? I'm taking a chance. Sammy Sosa. Somewhat of a local guy, right? Chicago guy. Slammin' Sammy. He finished his career number 8 all-time in total number of home runs hit. Number 4 all-time in total number of strikeouts. Failed his way to success. You are the master of your mind. Your mind is not your master. Now this quote rang true for me once again back in 2015 when I was competing in the semifinals. Let me introduce you to a longtime Toastmaster out of District 3, Gilbert, Arizona, Mr. Michael Desiderio. Anybody know Michael? Oh, all right. right, so we got one person, okay. All right, great guy. Now, before I met Michael, I thought I had a lot of contest losses, all right? You see, Michael was competing with me also in semifinal number 6 out in Las Vegas. I was speaker number 7. He was speaker number 10. So, again, it's my first time in the semifinals, and I was standing next to him. It was about 3 hours before we were going to take the stage. We were doing a sound check. And I turn to him and I say, Michael, you know, this is my very first time to the semifinals. I'm a little bit nervous here, right? Now, if you've never been to a convention or never seen a semifinal room, this is what one looks like. Okay. Now, this is my semifinal room from this past year in Chicago, 2018. Okay. But as you can see, that's a big room. There's lots of chairs in that room. Okay, that's a big stage. So I turned to Michael and I said, yeah, I'm a little bit nervous. Here's my first time in the semifinals. Hey, have you been here before? He got a big smile on his face. He said, yes, Eric. Actually, I have. 8 times before. This is 9th trip to the semifinals. I said, Michael, I hope you don't mind me asking, but how many times have you made it to the finals? That's the pause that I got. His smile left his face. And he said, I haven't. Yet. And then he went on to say that every time he starts a contest journey, he develops relationships that empower him in his life. And every time he takes a stage, he becomes a better speaker. And every time he quote unquote fails to make it to the finals, he gets a little bit better, a little bit better, a little bit closer each time. Michael Desiderio is a master in his mind. He uses his mind to empower himself, not present himself. Now, he took 3rd in my semifinal, but I can promise you, he'll be back. Now, Napoleon Hill says it best. Every adversity, every failure, every heartache carries with it the seed of an equivalent or greater benefits. Now, normally I'd have you reflect right now, but I see the green light. We're going to move through this. If you would, today, reflect on how you can use the lessons you learned from your failure or setback that you wrote down in the beginning, how you can use that to empower you on a go-forward basis. That would be fantastic. Positivity is the final P. Now, this is your District 11 winner, the yellow. This is the rest of us, those that don't get to go out in the quarterfinals. A few years ago, I saw this man live at the Laugh Factory, Tom Dreesen, legendary comedian. He's had over 500 network TV appearances, hosted The Tonight Show 45 times. He opened for Frank Sinatra for 14 years, an absolute legend. So he was giving an inspirational speech, and he said, his message was simple. He said that the greatest gift that we can give ourselves is the gift of a sense of humor. Because that keeps us positive. That empowers us. Because as we all know, life happens. Things out of our control. I'll give you an example. Just 1 week ago today, just last week, I was at our District 30 TLI. We had high winds that day. I bought a brand new patio set. This is what I came back to. 1 week ago. So after I got over it, I said, okay, Eric, 3 P's to empowerment. You gotta laugh about that. And then I had a great idea. How can I use this to empower me? I'll use it in my District 11 speech. It's great. It's perfect. See, now how's that for being a master of your mind, right? Again, listen, I do a whole separate presentation. I'm more happy to come back and do it again on how to craft a award-winning speech. If you're looking for material, again, go to the places you do not want to go to in your life. But I'm going to show you a real quick video. The best golfers in the world not having their best day. This will show you why sometimes what we really need to do is just to laugh. Enjoy. This is from
So this is Richard Lee, the Players' Championship. So there you go, I'll get the putter out. Number 3, is this when you have the yips? Henny Otto, I was a pop that way back in. Just ask Paul. Smashed his kneecap. Well, that's a great three. It's clear when we show that. Even more painful for Chichi Rodriguez. Just as bad special with that bang, ricochet. Woody Austin attempting the miracles shot.
All right, now, my friends, those are literally the absolute best in the world at what they do. The guy that hit the tree, Lee Westwood at the time, ranked the #1 golfer in the world. One thing I need to remind myself on a regular basis, Eric, don't take yourself too seriously. None of us are going to get out alive, okay? So, to stay empowered, and I'll cut this a little bit short, we need to stay positive. Tom Dreesen, here's an action step for you. His recommendation is this: to stay empowered, laugh at least 10 times a day, but more important, laugh at yourself twice a day. You will not believe how liberating and empowering that is. All right, I got one more story. I'm running out of time here, so I got one more story for you, and then I'll close, okay? Sound good? You with me? Give me those 8 to 10 minutes? All right, okay, here we go. So, as you know, it took me 11 and a half years to get 1 district title, and I was so happy, as you can see, I was actually glowing. So, 2 weeks after I won district, I flew out to Dublin, Ireland on a business trip, and I spoke at Viking Voices Toastmasters out in Dublin. Absolutely amazing people. This shows you what kind of family we have here in Toastmasters. I mean, welcome me with open arms, right? No one knew who I was, the whole thing. They listened to my district winning speech, and they gave me great feedback on it, right? And they loved it. They loved me, they loved it. Just wonderful, great people. If you're around Dublin, you gotta see them, right? Tell them I said hello. And they loved the speech so much, they actually baked me a good luck cake. They never met me before. I love Toastmasters. It was my favorite, vanilla with strawberries. But then they said, Eric, if you really want to give yourself the best chance of winning, right at the convention, you have to go kiss the Blarney Stone. It will give you the gift of eloquence, right? So I drove out to the Blarney Castle, and I not only kissed that stone, I made out with that stone like a teenager on a first date. You catch me on the wrong day, I got the Blarney lips to prove it. No, I'm kidding. That's a joke. Anyways, I was flying high, right? And then I crashed when I came back to the USA. Let me introduce you to a gentleman named Old Bill. Anybody know Old Bill? Okay. He's a legend in District 30 where I'm at. Legend has it that he holds ancient secrets. Yes, ancient secrets to the art of storytelling and public speaking. And he watches at least 10 TED Talks a day. And he coached 2 other District 30 international speech winners, like myself, to win the entire championship, the World Championship of Public Speaking. I had heard in 2006 and President Philip in 2013. So I had to go see Old Bill. And with the same passion, enthusiasm, and vigor that I gave that speech at district where I won, and I gave that speech in Dublin, Ireland, halfway around the world, and they loved it, I gave it to old Bill. And this is the feedback that he gave me. He didn't feel connected to either of my characters. My foundational phrase, today is meaningless. He didn't learn anything he could use in his life. There was no plot, no theme, no epiphany. The speech makes absolutely no impact. The premise was too fuzzy, content too weak, and simply cliches, slogans, and fragile humor. The speech does not stand out. And oh yeah, one more thing. You have no hope of winning. Your grade is less than a D. And he didn't bake me a cake. My friends, to say that I was devastated would be an understatement. And I took that speech, I crumpled it up, and I threw it in the trash. And for the next 5 weeks, I wrote new speech after new speech after new speech, night after night after night. And I took those speeches throughout District 30, 54, you name it, 108. Anyone that would listen to me, I gave those speeches. Nothing was working. I hit a level of despair. I turned to my speech coach, distinguished Toastmaster Jeff Stein, and said, Jeff, I don't know what to do. He told me 2 words. Reach out. To the 2013 World Champion of Public Speaking, Prez Vasilev, who also went to see old Bill on his journey. So I emailed Prez, told him what happened, and this is what Prez gave me back. Eric, he told me the same thing! Don't lose hope. Keep crafting. But most important, follow your heart. What does your heart tell you? You want to know what Prez was really telling me? Yes, you can. I reached back into that trash can. I took out that speech. I dusted it off. Took it with me to the semifinals in 2015. That's the speech that put me on the world stage in Las Vegas. You saw my big moment. Now I share that story to say this. Old Bill has since passed. He's a great man. I firmly believe he had my best intentions in mind. That being said, to stay positive, to stay empowered, we have a responsibility to ourselves, both inside and yes, outside of Toastmasters, to filter feedback and to stay empowered. It's an interesting world out there. 3 P's will help you stay empowered. Now my close. Again, normally, I'd have you reflect, but tonight, today, I ask you to write down what gives you joy. If you have joy in your life, I ask you to share with your fellow District 11 members, your family, your friends, because we all need it. But if you're not feeling joy, remember those 2 words. Reach out. Reach out to the people here in the district, or someone that can help you achieve joy in your life. Okay, I got the red, so I'm going to close real quick. Here's my recap, very quickly. These are the final 10 contestants in the 2015 World Championship of Public Speaking. This is our contestants briefing. As you can see, I'm standing next to the eventual winner from Saudi Arabia, Mohammed Katani. We went over the rules, logistics. The 2003 World Champion of Public Speaking, Jim Key, then came and gave us an inspirational speech and handed each one of us a letter. I took that letter with me and put it in my hotel. Then I did the sound check. And if you've ever been to an international convention, which I had not at that time, this is what a World Championship stage looks like. Pretty scary, huh? At least for me. That's close to 3,000 seats. This is the one from 2018. That was my view at the sound check, looking out at all those seats. But let me take you back to 2015. I was so scared. and so nervous the first time I competed that when I did the sound check, my voice quivered so much, the guy working the sound thought there was something wrong with the microphone. And I stepped off that stage completely consumed with self-doubt. But that's when I went to the letter from Jim Key. And the words on this letter allowed my voice to say, once again, yes, you can. I share some of that letter with you right now. To accomplish great things, we must not only act, but also dream. Not only plan, but also believe. Those words allowed me to take that stage that next day and share a message that had been in my heart with the world. You see, each one of us is climbing a mountain. But it's important to remember that it is not the mountain that we conquer, but ourselves. Because when we conquer ourselves, that voice inside of us, and say it with me, is going to scream loud, and it is going to scream proud. Yes, you can! Thank you so much, Scott.